So, modern FPS games are all about weapon customization, right? You got scopes, lasers, and enough attachments to turn your gun into a small battleship. But my game, it doesn't have any of that. Just plain, simple guns. But let's be honest, everyone loves to tinker with their loadouts. So I decided it's finally time to bring some customization into the mix. First things first, planning. Because even though it looks simple, adding attachments isn't exactly a walk in the park. I started off by making a to-do list of all the things I need to do. Since there's so much that goes into adding weapon customization, I need to know exactly what I'm doing, or at least make it seem like I do. Once that was done, I spent a little while brainstorming some attachment ideas, and I was finally ready to move on to step 2, menus. The attachment menu is one of the most important parts of this update. I mean, without it, players wouldn't even be able to use any of the attachments, so it's important that it doesn't end up looking like a dumpster fire. Before starting, I drew up a concept of what I wanted the attachment menu to look like. It's not perfect, but I think it'll do for now. Adding it to the game was a whole different challenge though. After a lot of trial and error, I finally got the menu working smoothly. Looking at it now, it does look pretty bad, but like everything else in this game, I'll just leave it for future me to fix. Now for the fun part, actually adding the attachments, or as I like to call it, let's see how badly I can break the game. A few hours of work later, everything was mostly working. I added 5 categories of attachments players can choose from: optics, muzzles, lasers, grips, and mags. After a ton of bug fixing, headaches, and several coffee cups, everything finally works as it should. And now, your weapons can be as tactical or ridiculous as you want them to be. Now that all of the attachments were added in, there was just one thing missing. They don't actually do anything. So let's fix that. I don't want to give away too much about how everything works, so here's a simple breakdown of the attachments and how they impact your weapon. Each attachment can change a number of stats on your gun. These can include range, recoil, bullet spread, damage, and more. These stats are all handled as multipliers, so a multiplier of 2 doubles your damage and a multiplier of 0.5 would make it half. I spent a few hours making sure each attachment was effective yet balanced. The more effective an attachment is, the more downsides it'll have. Some attachments provide a small boost with little to no downsides, while the better ones will greatly improve performance, albeit with more drawbacks. With that all done, it's time for a few finishing touches, tweaking values, fixing some last minute bugs, and making sure everything feels just right. And here's the final product. Not too bad, huh? So that's how I added attachments to my game. It took some work and is definitely not perfect, but I think it turned out pretty well. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more of the development process, hit that subscribe button. And let me know in the comments if you got ideas for any wild or crazy attachments. Let's make this game even more ridiculous.